right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ring the Bell show presented by SeatGeek. Christy, Francesco, Johnny Mack is here. I thought our VP was going to be making his triumphant return tonight, but he's not here. He's still a little bit uncomfortable. Again, like I told everybody a while ago, Jay had pretty intensive neck surgery a
I have
few
a feeling
weeks.
he's watching right now and he's waiting for one of us to say something stupid. He's gonna come out of nowhere.
It's a work. He's swerving all of us. Yeah, so if he hops on, he hops on. If he doesn't, he doesn't, but it's all good. But look, we're here. It's been about a week and a half since we've been on, and the reason for that is as we are into spring training games now, we're getting almost, every day is closer and closer to the regular season, about a month away from the beginning of the season. We're going to stick to our normal every Sunday show now. And that's where we are until the regular season begins. And then we'll be, 2-3 shows a week or whatnot. But John, what's going on, man? How are you? Before we started talking here, we were talking about a little bit of WrestleMania as we're getting closer and closer to that. But other than that, man, what's going on?
Nothing right now. I'm just happy Philly baseball's back. I mean, it's been great watching some college baseball yesterday, watching some
I love it.
and on Friday, and I was watching some spring training games. It's just great baseball's back, and it's great to see some guys playing.
And I know, you play college baseball, as did I, and we're big college baseball people. Man, some crazy upsets so far.
Yeah, but I just look at it like Ryder upset Oklahoma last year. It's just baseball. Anything can happen on any given day. Just the bats are hot that day, or for some reason pitchers are working that day. I don't know if you saw the other day that what's it Smith from Oklahoma? Not Arkansas. Man, he had I think he retired 18 guys and 16 strikeouts or something ridiculous the other day. Hagen Smith, but something ridiculous. It's unbelievable to see something like that. I think his first 15 outs were all strikeouts. It was pretty remarkable.
So if you guys are watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell for those notifications. I just want to say thank you.
And share it too.
Absolutely share, of course, always with your social media, with your friends, family. We are right on the cusp here of 1,500 subscribers. And look, I have to be transparent. I mean, we came on here, Jason and I came on here months ago and said, man, if we get to 100 subscribers, that would be tremendous for this show. But the fact that we're at close to 1,500 before the regular season even starts, it's a testament to the hard work and the dedication of the team that we have here. And just thank you guys so much to continue getting noticed as often as we are. I firmly believe, in terms of Philadelphia podcasts, I think we're the best. I think we're the most consistent. And I really do believe that we bring you as an independently owned company here, not backed by a major radio station or a major television network. What we've built here on our own with, sweat, hard work. It's been incredible, and I'm so grateful for the team. I'm so grateful for, busy people like John here, who does a lot in his personal life, has time, even though I disagree with 90% of what he says. The fact that he shows up, it means a lot. And I'm really grateful for everyone who listens. The fact that I get, DMs and stuff from people I've never talked to or even heard of in my life, saying thank you for the show and to keep going and keep doing what we're doing. It's huge. It's a great blessing. So God bless all you guys for that. But okay. And I wanted to just start off by saying, when I set this show up, the title is a little bit deceiving because Whit Merrifield has signed since our last episode, and we have 2 games that have been played already, yesterday and today. The Phillies have scored 18 runs in 2 games, with 14 of them coming on Saturday. But nonetheless, a shutout win against the Yankees today, in a game where there was quite a few starters, especially the pitchers. A lot of the arms that we're going to see all season long through today. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Rhys Hoskins, because I do want to get into it, because I still see people like John commenting under Phillies posts, like begging for Rhys Hoskins to come back. Like,
I'm not begging for him. I just think the team will be better with him. That's as simple as that.
We'll get into that. Okay, so let's talk about one, because it's been a while since we've been on. I don't want to spend too much time on him, but what was your thoughts on the signing of Whit Merrifield? And I will say, John, that's a player that you mentioned weeks ago. You
Yeah.
said you would like to see a Whit Merrifield come here. Guess what? Whit Merrifield signs, and John hated it.
I didn't hate it. It's not a hate. It was more of like I think Rhys is a better player than him. That's at this moment in time. But it's a great guy for a bench. Like I
I
don't
agree.
expect him. I don't expect him to be your everyday center fielder, which I think he may be our starting center fielder or in a platoon
Not
role.
if Rojas keeps raking.
Yeah, yeah, but you know what I mean? It's that
Yeah.
situation where a platoon in left field with somebody else. But I mean, he can play anywhere on the field, which
Mm-hmm.
is very versatile for a bench player. He's a great hitter. The one thing I did not like is that at the end of the season, even the Blue Jays even said it too. Like he just kind of like declined at the end of the last year. Bat wise, I mean, he was hitting around 300 at the All Star break, and he just ended up with like 272 batting average somewhere in that range. So it's like is his age coming into play? You know, he's 35. You know, one thing that he was is he's a great hitter and he could steal bases and was a great hitter. So will age be a problem? But I have no problem with it when he's your bench bat. You know, he's a bench bat. You know, you're gonna play him 2 to 3 times a week. You know, give Stott a break sometimes or give Bohm a break, you know, Turner a break. You play him at second base, play Stott at shortstop, or even if you give Harper a break, you play him at third base. You give Bohm at first base, or you can play him anywhere in the out. You can play him anywhere on the field besides catcher. I think he said, "I don't want to play. I think I'll play anywhere but catcher." So it's a good thing to have
So
something like that on the bench. It's just I don't think he's an everyday player at this point in his career.
So he's definitely not. And you look at his numbers in his splits from last year. If you look at what his first half numbers were, in 82 games, he hit 286 with a 342 on base percentage. And then you look at the second half, which was about 60, which was 63 games he played. He hit 256, and that OBP dropped all the way down to 286. And again, you look at the final parts of the season, it's absolutely correct. Last April and March into April, he hit 320. May 267, June 280. He hit 356 in July, and then in August and then September 232 and then 181. So you're right, and in terms of a decline, it hit rapidly when you get to those dog days of August and into September.
And he's
However,
not a
and you
walk
know,
guy, so that OBP is not really going to be
and then
too high in general.
right.
So he's based off his hit because he can hit the baseball. He walks like 30 to 40 times a year. Sometimes he got close to 50, but he's not really a big walk guy. So his OBP is not going to be up there unless he's hitting.
Right. And Brad brings up a great point here, which I wanted to bring up. Since 28, I mean, I'm just going to give the hit totals here that he's had since 2017: 170, 192, 206, 184. He got hurt a little bit in 2022, but still had 130 hits and then 150 hits last year. So you're right. This dude can hit. So again, though, John, you're right. At 35 years old, it was clear that fatigue or just again age just caught up with him near the end of the season last year, and that's an issue. But however, you are right. This is why he's not coming in as an everyday player because John, you have to assume right that in the back of Topper's mind, Dombrowski's mind, Rojas will by mid-season probably take over the everyday spot in center field. Correct?
That's what I think. I just don't think. I think the way it's playing out right now, I don't think we're going to. I mean, he's one of my topics that I want to talk about a little bit. It's great that he had the triple, had a single, but I do not love the 2 strikeouts for a player with his speed and his caliber. You can't strike out 2 times a game. You need to be 100 less strikeout a guy a season. 75. I really would love him to have less than 75 strikeouts because his speed is so big that where maybe you put the ball in the hole, you're beating that out every single time, even though the shortstop or second baseman may field it. But his speed is it's such a big deal that any ball that is put in play that's on the ground is chance that it's a single. That's why
For
he
sure.
needs to put the ball in place. That's one of the things where his strikeouts are high this season. He's going to start in AAA just to get the strikeouts down and get more comfortable. But I mean, I expect by June at the latest, I mean, he's up here as your everyday starting center fielder.
I agree. So once that happens, what role does Merrifield play? Is it one of those things where, we saw Marsh last year against lefties struggle, but it wasn't as awful as a lot of people made that out to be. He definitely
It wasn't.
improved
The
throughout the
problem
season.
was with my thing with Marsh was he didn't really struggle that bad. It was just Topper just decided not to play him against lefties. The same thing with Stott. Like, why are you like Stott was hitting like 300 most of the year against lefties? Why are you not playing him against lefties? Like, it didn't make
Yep.
sense, you know. And it's
That was the worst managerial, move that I saw all season was why is Bryson Stott suddenly not playing against
it
lefties when
was
the
for a
guy
while too.
smashes them?
I mean, till August, it was for a while until he kind of like
It
gave him
was
the
just
nod to
odd.
like kind of like finally play against lefties. But it was weird. That's something I don't want to see this season, which kind of like bugs me about the Merrifield thing is like, what role is he going to play really? Because he's right-handed. You're not going to take, Bohm. Like, what's the difference between him and Bohm? I mean,
Mhm.
they're pretty similar players where they're both going to hit for decent average. Not going to hit many home runs. I mean, Bohm's going
Right.
to have a little more power. So you're really going to take him out for Bohm. Are you going
Mhm.
to take him out for Stott? I mean, that means you're saying, oh, Stott can't hit lefties again. And then you can take him out for March. That means you're saying again, March can't hit lefties. I think it's just going to be a thing where he's going to sit the bench. He's going to play maybe 2-3 times a week. They're going to maybe try to rest some guys up. If you see Castellanos struggle, maybe give him a day off, play him in right field, or you see
Mhm.
Schwarber struggling a little bit, maybe give him a day off and you
Yeah.
put Harper at the DH, Bowman to first base, Merrifield at third base, situations like that. Or it's just a routine maintenance day, we're 30 games in the year, Stott's played all 30 games, you let him play second base. The same thing with Turner, where
Yep.
you put Stott at shortstop and you let Merrifield play second. I think it's going to be something like that.
Yeah.
But I do think we're going to see him start center field or left field at opening day.
Yeah. Look, it's a great asset to have. I mean, he
And it's
wasn't a
something where somebody struggled in the playoffs, like
yeah.
Rojas was, where bases loaded in the
Yeah.
third inning, where
Right.
Rojas struck out. You're like, oh, I don't trust Rojas here. We're going to play Merrifield like he's a veteran. We're going to play
Right.
him. That's something they needed last year and they did not have.
Right. I know. I agree. Just a reminder to everybody, you can see on the top right-hand side of your screen, maybe your left, depending on how you're looking at us. This show is brought to you guys by SeatGeek. Head over to SeatGeek.com right now and use our code on the bump for $20 off your very first ticket purchase. Look, if you're down in Clearwater, you're looking for tickets, SeatGeek.com, man, $20 off. It helps. These fees are absolutely ridiculous all across the board. Dude, I'm trying to get, for the past like 6 months, John, I've been trying, my wife and I are trying to procure Morgan Wallen tickets for May. And
They're
you look at,
they're insane prices. I mean, I want to go too. I'm probably gonna know. I'm trying to because I know like once it gets closer, that's when the ticket prices start to drop. So I'm probably gonna hold out for a
yeah.
while. I mean, I
So,
remember Luke Combs last year. It was like
oh my gosh. Yeah.
it
Luke
was like
Combs was
200 bucks a
wild.
ticket, but then like the day of, it was like there was like tickets for 50 bucks. Like it was
Dude,
crazy how
if
much they
Morgan
dropped.
Wallen tickets were 200 a piece by now, I would have already bought them. But
Yeah,
we were looking because I think something came out. It might have been the Rolling Stone magazine, or something came out weeks ago where, the hottest concert tickets of the summer. I know Billy Joel's final,
I mean they're always Billy Joel's always
his
expensive.
final show at Madison Square Garden was up there, but I think number one was Morgan Wallen. And man, so we were looking at seats, and there was a day where I said, you know what, I'm about to pull the trigger. There was seats for like $480 a piece, and it was in the 100 level. And I'm thinking, oh man, I might have to pull the trigger on this.
That's not
So
bad
there
at all because I mean you're talking about last row in the stadiums for 480.
Right. So it was 480 a piece, right? So 480 plus 480 is, you can do the math. I won't be able to do that for you right here, but it's a lot. Then I get to the checkout, right? This wasn't on SeatGeek. This was on, I think, Vivid or even StubHub. Because Vivid, usually you can get pretty decent price tickets for things. But I get to the end of the friggin' checkout screen here, and the fees per ticket was $185 per seat.
And that's the crazy part. Like, it's ridiculous the fees, on all these
Absolutely
resale.
disgusting.
And
Remember
even
when
when you
Joe
sell tickets.
Biden told us that he was going to cut out the fees? Yeah.
But I think he was going to cut out the fees with Ticketmaster. That when you first buy the tickets, I mean, these independent ones like SeatGeek, they're all resale. It's not resale. You're not buying,
Oh,
which I mean, that's how they make their money, is because they're making money off of the resale,
insane.
which
So
is no,
instead of
which
like
even
$1,000 tickets, you're paying like $1,300.
it's even crazy. Like what that too is because you're paying, when you sell the tickets, you're paying like a 10% fee to sell the
Right.
tickets, and then they're
Yep.
making more money on the fees from when they buy the tickets.
It's like getting a
Like they're already
car
taking
and
they're
then
already taking
selling your
10.
car.
You know.
So yeah, so that's, oh my God, it was just driving me crazy. But head over to SeatGeek.com right now. When you check out, use our code on the bump and you knock off $20 off that bottom
Which will
line,
probably be your fees.
which will be, an eighth of your fees. So, but
And
look,
SeatGeek will no longer be a sponsor to today's show.
it's all good. We've been doing pretty well for them, so I think they'll hang around for a little bit longer. But look, let's talk about today's game. Sunday, we're streaming here live on Facebook, on our YouTube page at Ring the Bell 856, on Twitter. If you guys go to my Twitter page at Chris Defense3, I got it right there under my name there on the screen. Same thing with Johnny Mac. His Twitter handle is also under his name as well. 4-0 win today. Quite a few of the starters, John, as we were talking in Gorilla right before we got on here. You know, Turner, Stott, Casty, Schwarber got 3 at-bats. Again, quite a few starters played today. But, you know, the story of the day today was not obviously the offense like it was on Saturday. You know, Nola, Strom, Hoffman, Alvarado, Mick Abel threw, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Gregory Soto, Austin Bryce. Today was a day where we got to see the arms that we're going to see throughout the entire regular season. But kind of give me your thoughts on what you saw today out of the Phillies in their second spring training game.
Yankees played their bums, though. But, I mean, either way, when they're playing their bums, you know, these are the guys that are going to be pitching throughout the season, which I love. I mean, Noah had a great outing. He looked good. I mean, every bullpen guy looked good. I mean, Alvarado, he's going to walk a guy. I mean, that's just deal with it. He's going to walk. He's going to walk somebody almost every outing he has. So just deal with it.
That was the curtain opening up for the season. Like, there we go. I mean, the season has begun. Alvarado has walked someone.
Like you said in Gorilla, I mean, Hoffman was throwing gas. I mean, it's great to see him because I think they're going to rely on him heavily once again this year. So it's good to see that. Soto, you know, he's in a situation like Alvarado. He's not as good, but he's gonna walk a couple guys. You know, Sir Anthony pitched well. I mean, they all pitching. This is what you do against teams, you know, that like aren't going to play their best guys, and you know you're going to throw 1 or 2 innings. You give it your all, and you know work on your stuff. They were hitting their spots. They look good, and I don't even think that's like the guys that are going to be on our team. That wasn't even the highlight today. The highlight was Mick Abel. I mean, he was tremendous. He missed 1 spot and he overthrew a fastball. You know, and it's it happens. You know, he missed 1 spot. He had 2 strikeouts, both on the slider. He was throwing 94 to 96. Looks great. I mean, now what I want to see from him, I want to see him. Give him a 2-inning start next time. His next out. That's what I would love to see, a 2-inning start from him. See what he's got, and keep building off that. I mean, hopefully he can continue to pitch. I mean, last year he threw 2 or 3 games, maybe 3 innings total. He didn't really throw much last spring. Let's let him throw a little bit this spring. You know, let's see what we got against the major league talent. And we'll see maybe could he sneak in if he throws well, continues throwing well. Could he sneak in on the open day roster? Probably not, but there'll be conversations if the pitcher starts struggling during the regular season where it's like, well, Abel looked pretty good during the spring training. Do we want to call him up now? So he's your top pitching prospect right now since Painter's hurt. So
absolutely, yeah,
top 50. So let's see what he's got, and I think he's top 4 right-handed or wise or
and
top
look,
10.
You never know how things can turn out. Like ages ago, there was a time where Gavin Floyd was a much more touted prospect than Cole Hamels. And, you know, Cole Hamels worked out quite well for the Philadelphia Phillies.
How many guys were not even top prospects in the game, you know?
Right.
That ended up being, so, I don't even think Dallas Keuchel was a top prospect.
He was not. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, guys.
So you look at Mick Abel, maybe this was the opening that, you know,
he's 22. He's still young. He's still very young. That's the great thing about him.
He could end up being that guy over Painter. I'm not dismissing it, Painter. You know, this isn't WIP, everyone, where I'm all of a sudden saying a guy who can't pitch, he sucks all of a sudden, let's get rid of him. I'm just trying to say this could be the time to shine for Mick Abel, and he could end up being the guy that we've thought we needed all along. In turn, like for the attention that Painter has got, maybe Mick Abel ends up being that guy.
He's been a solid minor league pitcher too, and I mean, the best players pitch in Double A. I mean, he threw pretty well in Double A. I don't think he's ever threw in Triple A yet, but I mean, most of the grades don't even go to Triple A. That's more of like guys just trying to make it in Triple A.
Yes. So fresh off of a 7-year deal worth $172 million. Aaron Nola looked damn good today. He was one of the first guys that got down in Clearwater. That was weeks ago. He's been down there for a while.
He loves baseball. I think that he just loves baseball. He wants to play. I mean, most of the guys on the team besides Castellanos could be the question mark. Does he could be in the Rendon category, whereas he's just good at baseball and he plays it sometimes. But I mean, he seems to he loves the team though, and I think he loves the guys on the team. And I don't think he's a bad locker room guy in terms of where he's going to be negative to the team. I think he's more of just he loves the guys, but he doesn't want to talk to the media. He's just a guy who doesn't. So I don't think there's anything you have to really worry about him. He doesn't want to talk to media, and he's just going to go play baseball. He may have a bad attitude, this and that, but he loves the game and he loves the guys on the team. So I don't think, and he said that this week too when he got there that he had a bunch of great guys.
For sure. Look, he had 3 strikeouts. He pitched 2 innings, 33 total pitches. And look, you just go, down the line for this pitching staff. This Yankees squad did not have a hit until the 8th inning. So it was great to see. But going back to Nola, this is his 10th year. I can't believe it's his 10th year in the league already.
Wild.
Yeah.
10 years? I mean, I would have thought he debuted in 2015 or
I know. But look, with this contract, he's probably going to become the longest tenured pitcher in franchise history when Carlton pitched 15 years. And based on the new contract, Nola will certainly pass that for sure. So look, when you look at this guy,
he's not.
He had a really rough season last year. We all know it. 12-9, a 4.46 ERA. But in the playoffs, he did have a 2.35, 23 strikeouts in as many innings. And again, we've always talked about this, and you brought this up, but to me, it's not necessarily something to tout about just because, it's not an excuse for a bad ERA, but he has thrown 1,065 in the third inning since 2018, which are second most behind
rarely misses, and he rarely misses a start. I don't even know if he's ever missed a start. I mean,
I can't even when was the last one they said? Like 2017 he missed one?
He is very, very durable.
Yeah.
Which is what you want out of the pitcher. So I mean he may not have a bad year, but he's very durable, and he gives you those it's this 96th day in September in July on a Sunday, and he's out there and he is dealing. I mean, once that weather turns, I mean he's something else.
Yeah. So, and we're a couple weeks away from our official, preview and prediction episode. But obviously people might forget what you say here, but what are you looking for in Aaron Nola this year? Are you looking strictly for the home runs to go down? Are you looking for him to eliminate the big innings? Maybe, to go deeper in games? What are your expectations? What do you want to see out of Aaron Nola this year?
I expect him to be a lot better than he was last year. I don't know if we're going to get, 2018 Nola, where he was third in Cy Young voting, I believe.
2018, yeah. Second.
So I don't expect. I'm not expecting him to be in that category again.
Yeah, that was like almost under 2 ERA.
He had an unbelievable year that year. I expect him he's going to have a lot better year this year. He'll be in the 3 to 3.5. I expect. What hurt him last year it was the home runs.
Yeah, most in baseball.
It was weird. Weird year where pitching changes happen. He has a year to learn from it. And I'm sure he worked on things like that all off season. It really seemed like once a guy got on base for him, it's when everything kind of melted down and he would give up those home runs. So maybe it's something he worked on this offseason. That the rules aren't going to change. I believe it's even faster this year. I believe instead of 20 seconds, it's 17 seconds when a runner's on base. So it's cut the home runs down. That's pretty much because the strikeouts. I mean, I don't want the strikeouts to cut down because he's one of the top strikeout guys in the league. He rarely walks guys. I mean, his walks were up last year, I believe, a little bit. But, just cut the home runs down. I think we'll be good. He's never been a pitcher to go deep into ball games. And when he did go, he was dealing. But usually when he wasn't, dealing great, it was the third time around is always when he struggled. And we saw that with Kapler. He was like, oh, your third time around, you're out of here. Even though you have shutout in 66 pitches, you're out of here on opening day.
Yeah, so look, I would, last year, again, the home runs were up. 2022, he had 19 home runs, which was fine. Get all the way up to 32 last year.
Did he end up leading the league in home runs? He was leading for a while.
He was tied. So I don't know who he was tied with, but he was tied for that. 193 and 2/3 innings, 202 strikeouts. That's his third consecutive season or 200 strikeouts. It would have been like his 4. It would have been his 7th consecutive season of over 200 strikeouts if it weren't for COVID, obviously. But look, a season that I would like to see out of Aaron Nola. I hearken it back to 2022. I mean, the wins and losses were odd, 11 and 13, but wins and losses don't mean anything in baseball anymore.
He always
He had
never got run support for some
Oh,
reason.
yeah. So,
It was
but he had
just
a
weird.
3.25 ERA, 205 innings, only 19 home runs, 29 walks, 235 strikeouts, and he finished fourth in the Cy Young. So, if I can get between a 3.25 and a 3.40 this year, John, that means he probably had himself a damn good season in terms of innings pitched. The home run ball was kind of non-existent, and his strikeouts were up. And that's what they really got to get out of him this year.
And there's one thing, this really has nothing to do with him at all, but
Yeah.
it does a little bit. I want him to go to Rob Thompson and be like, I want Garrett Stubbs catching every game I pitch.
Yeah, I talked about that last year.
Once the play, because for some reason him and JT don't click. Him and JT have never clicked. Even when Knapp was here, Knapp was pretty much his personal catcher. He was always catching them. So I think it's something you go to Thompson yourself and you say, love JT, great catcher, great, but me and him just don't click. And I have Stubbs, and I think he deserves it. I mean, they paid him the money, so they want the best out of him, want him to feel comfortable when he's pitching. I think Garrett Stubbs is the guy that you, even though I wish they would get a different backup catcher because I'd love to give JT a little bit of rest just because he's getting to the age. But, Garrett Stubbs is the guy. If you have to have Garrett Stubbs catch every Sunday afternoon, and you have to have Nola, or Saturday nights, whatever you want to catch, but you have to catch him twice in a week, then you have to have him catch twice in a week. It's just what you're
Yeah. And look, it's not a diva thing, or it's not this odd thing for pitchers to have a specific catcher. The late great Tim Wakefield only threw to one catcher. He needed a specific catcher to catch him.
I mean, Steve Carlton didn't like when Bob Boone called him.
Right.
And he's, that's just, he didn't like it.
John remembers that. He was there.
It's the stories you hear, It's what, he didn't like when Bob Boone called him.
Chris, let me tell you this story from 1979 that I was at a local establishment down in South Philadelphia.
Five losses that year. It was all when Bob Boone called him. That's
right.
What my dad say. Oh, he had 5 losses that year. Probably
it was all Bob Boone. We're gonna blame him. That's funny. All right. So, what else did you notice? I know you didn't want to bring up the starters because obviously they're the guys who are going to be here. What impressed you over the weekend?
Over the weekend, I loved seeing Kinnery, Dahl, Weston, Wilson, Pache. They all played great. Those are all guys that
Pache played really well.
Those are all guys that want to be on this opening day roster. They want a chance to play on this team, so they're all competing, and I love to see the competitive nature in that. Because once one guy, you're Kinnery, you see Pache. You're Pache, you see Kinnery hit a home run the day before. You're like, shit. I mean, he could take my spot on this team. Or David Dahl is like, dude, I've been around a while, but these young guys, I need to step up. Wes Wilson, he got a little bit of time last year. It's just you need to see these guys improve and get better every single day and compete with one another to make each other better, and which I love to see. Obviously Abel, it was great to see that. Pitching just looks sharp in general today.
Real sharp. Yeah.
Castellanos, I'll say this about him though, just deal with it. He's going to swing at everything, and he's going to swing. So,
oh my gosh, I sent you guys the text today, and it made me so angry. I'm like, oh my god, game 1 of spring training, and he's already swinging at pitches about a foot off the plate, and it came right after the Yankees just had back-to-back walks, and I'm thinking, this guy. Oh, everyone complains about Schwarber. I got to deal with this for 162 games.
It's just somebody we're going to have to absolutely deal with him swinging at whenever the hell he feels like, and that's who he is. And then when he's swinging and he's on, I mean, he's a great hitter. So we're just going to have to deal with it. Rojas, it was, he had a triple, drove in a bunch of runs on that trip. I think he driven 4 runs on that triple or something like that, or something. It was, good for that's awesome. I love to see him cut the strikeouts down. Other than that, that's the only negative I have on, and that's pretty much with any player. I would love to see any player cut their strikeouts down. Just put the ball in play. Anything can happen at any moment.
I agree.
Put the ball in play, and it was, they're great. 2-0 in spring training. Let's go.
Yeah. Before we move off that and we start getting angry at each other, Rob Thompson did say on Sunday that JT Realmuto and Bryce Harper are scheduled to make their spring training debuts Wednesday during a home game against the Atlanta Braves.
I don't know. That's the one thing. Why isn't I know Bohm has the oblique? Is it oblique or is it hamstring?
I thought it was an oblique.
Maybe
actually, didn't they say it was a strained neck?
I don't know. Who knows? I thought it was
a strained neck.
Whatever it was. Problem. But I don't understand this thing. Like why? Like why are why
Well,
are these
didn't
guys?
Thompson say like the most important thing this spring training is just making sure the guys stay healthy? So I
I
guess it's,
guess.
you know,
I
it
mean,
goes back.
the
Like, do you
guys that
think
didn't stay
guys?
healthy last year were the pitchers. So I mean, that's a little different. It really
Well,
wasn't any of the
arms.
hitters.
Well, we heard Hamill say for years that pitchers need a good month to ramp up for a full season.
Yeah.
But when you look at hitters, I mean, I kind of do you like a Bryce Harper or a JT or a Turner Stott. I hearken it to like being a running back in NFL. Like in other words,
You need to see
we
live
always
pitching because
thought
batting
good
practice
running
doesn't do
backs
so much.
don't play in training camp. They just show up. Do you think it's like one of those things? And
No, because
I'll
baseball is
ask you.
different.
I agree, but Harper and those guys can get those kinds of swings in live practice against their own pitchers. Do you want them out there before the game and all
Yeah, because
these spring training
you see
games
these live
playing?
pitchers every single spring, and probably see them during the regular season and stuff like that too. And I'm sure if they do win the division, you're gonna have those simulated games where you're gonna get to see them again too. So does it really like what they throw, how JT calls pitches, how Stubbs
Yeah,
calls pitches, like you kind of expect things different. You're getting a different look from different people. That's kind of like people you probably might not even see, during the regular season because they're minor league guys, they're young guys. You're just
yeah,
seeing different people and different arm angles and stuff like that. Just like you're gonna see all season. I think it's more of a it's a get different looks is what you can
yeah,
only
for
see the
sure.
same look so many different times, and baseball's such a weird sport where sometimes you can't just rely on that stuff. You need to be able to just get out there and play. It's something you have to do. You have to play baseball every single day to be good at baseball.
I agree. However, I just am not. I don't subscribe to. I don't want my stars playing 20 spring training games before the regular
Oh no, I
season.
get it, but
That's
I
what
get it
like
too.
maybe 10 at the most. Because I've watched baseball now for over 30 years and you've been watching your whole life. I watch a spring training game and I get antsy. Like I'm
Yeah,
waiting for an injury. And it
yeah,
just like the same like what happened to Hoskins last year.
yeah.
It debilitates you. So like spring training and like training camp and football, I hate it. I hate how long it is. That's all.
It just for
Football's
me
3 weeks, but
personally, like
baseball's like a month.
yeah, for me, it's just more of like a personal thing. Like I want to go out there and play baseball. I don't care what this day is, if it's a scrimmage or what's not. I just want to go out there and play. And I'm sure Harper's one of those guys who just wants to go out there and play baseball. Like and I'm sure it eats him alive that he can't go out there and he can't play right now. So it's something like that. Like where I want to play no matter what what the circumstance. So I don't care if it's an exhibition game. I don't care if it's if I'm playing a single A game, double A game, whatever it is. I want to go out there and play baseball.
I agree. I agree with you on that end. All right. So we'll talk about spring training sometime next week. Before we get into the whole Hoskins thing, just a quick reminder: this is episode 98 of Ring the Bell. Episode 99 will be sometime this week because I leave for vacation Saturday morning. But I will say we will be doing episode 100 live. We'll be streaming it. I don't know exactly what night we're doing that because I have to figure out my schedule while I'm down there in Florida. But I am going to be streaming live from some spot in Walt Disney World at the Beach Club. I'm going to find some kind of
You
really
should
decent
do it
spot.
in Magic Kingdom with Tinkerbell.
Yep, I'm just going to plop out my laptop, throw my headphones on and be like, "Oh, hello everyone. Please try to hear me amongst 25,000 people." So let's have fun with that. But yeah, we're gonna as I get closer, I'll let you guys know a night that this will be available. Probably be the midweek of the following week, obviously. But episode 99 will be coming up to you guys this week. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday, probably after we see Real Muto and Harper play their first games. We'll see what else comes out. But yeah, before that, again, what were your thoughts on Cody Bellinger? 3 years, $80 million. I think a lot of people thought that the Cubs were going to be the ones ultimately to get him
I know
or
I said
keep
that in a
him.
text message or in a
You
show or
did, yeah.
something like that. I said I think he's just going to be with the Cubs. I think
I
that's
think
where
it's a
he's going to
good deal.
stay.
I
That's the
hate
deal
the
I expect.
opt-outs. I hate it.
I think the opt-outs are great for him personally because I
They're
feel
great
like
for
I mean
they're great for the player.
because I think I think a lot of the questions with him why he didn't get the long-term deal he probably wanted was because he had those 3 down years or 2 down years, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want, but I think that was the issue why he didn't get the long-term deal he wanted. So if he goes out and does what he did last year, he's going to opt out. He's going to get that deal that he wanted.
For
And
sure.
I think but that's the deal I wanted the Phillies to give him if the
Yeah.
Phillies ended up signing him. I went 3. I wasn't 80. I was at 75, but I mean that's pretty damn close. But 3 years and give him an opt out after each year.
I agree. Okay, so we'll wrap the show up with a couple little tidbits here about Rhys Hoskins. Let me just preface this. I liked Rhys Hoskins a lot. I would have
never thought that.
I have talked about Rhys Hoskins 50 times in my life, and he's never been nothing short of just class. Awesome dude, will always answer a question. I mean, he played for the Phillies when, they were at rock bottom before Harper showed up and changed the foundation of the franchise. He was a Philly guy, man. I didn't mean Philly like Nick Foles, but he was, Philly through and through. He loved the city. He loved playing for the Phillies. He and his wife were just an intricate part of the community. They did so many great things. But at the end of the day, and I don't mean this in a disparaging part at all, because it's just a business. And it's just the way things shake out, since, like 2019, when he had a really good year, 29, 85, 116 walks. I mean, his batting average was really poor, but, he's been declining as an offensive, player. His certain numbers were going down. Other numbers.
He's also hitting 2, not 4. And when he was playing, the bottom of the lineup wasn't as good. So, he wasn't getting the opportunity. I think this year he would have close to 100 RBI. Last year he would have close to 100 RBIs if he was batting 2, rather than.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he had
what I mean?
156 games in 2022, 30 home runs, 79 RBIs. He hit 246 with a 332 on base percentage and 170 strikeouts. His walks were at 72 walks. But again, he was a very, very poor defensive first baseman. I mean,
come on, cut him a break. I mean, seriously, he's seeing the ball more than anybody else on the field every game. He's getting and he had 32 errors in, and 4 of the errors that he had. Here we go. I knew he was going to do that. As soon as he was going to come in here with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the vice president of Ring the Bell is here.
You guys were planning this shit too.
No, it's what's funny. He texted me that he apologized. We said it, Jay. We said he's gonna pop up during Rhys Hoskins. But just real quick, I just want everyone to know that Jay texted me. I'm sorry that I passed out because he's on drugs, and so.
Not the good stuff. This is because of surgery, though. Just for the audience to know, this isn't the good stuff right now.
So he's like, so sorry I passed out. I said it's all good. And I said, just let you know, you can hop on now. We're about to talk about Hoskins, and here he is. He makes a triumphant return. Jason, what's going on, man?
That's a beautiful day. I didn't have the neck brace. I didn't need it right now, but neck brace. Said neck brace. Jason making an appearance, but baseball's back, baby. Am I right?
I know.
Cannot wait.
I know.
It's so beautiful watching the last couple of days.
And it's nothing like us bringing Jay back on as we're about to yell at each other. So it's always good. So again, John, like I was saying, and like you were saying, yes, he sees the ball more than everybody else, but I don't know what that has to do. I mean, people ripped Ryan Howard. He's better
than Ryan Howard. He's better than Ryan Howard at first base too. That's the thing. He's not god awful. Yes, he's made some stupid mistakes, and everybody's trashing him and saying he's such a bad first baseman. But you rarely heard how bad he was until that error he made in the World Series. It's cut him some slack a little bit. I mean, yeah, Turner playing shortstop, and how many errors he's making, and nobody's really ripping him apart. I mean, some people here and there, but seriously,
Turner got shredded last season for his. I mean, at points to where they didn't want him to play defensively, it was bad. But so here's my thing with Hoskins. I'm going to break it down to this way: what is so impressive about him as a Philly, being a
he's a good baseball player.
He's a 240 hitter. And he's a 240 hitter. I don't understand why we're talking about this.
And why is a 210 hitter, 220 hitter? It's not
But if you look at what Schwarber produces in comparison, it's better. It's just flat out better. Like Schwarber's getting better with the Phillies every year. Hoskins was going down.
The opportunities weren't there as much as they were when he was first here because he was batting 4 the whole time. So the more opportunities for drive the RBIs were there all the time. Now he's not going to hit the 46 home runs that Schwarber is, but he's going to have more hits. His hits are going to make up for the amount of walks that Schwarber doesn't have. It's not a big difference. And Schwarber had a great year with the RBIs. It's his first time ever getting 100 RBIs. And why did he have it? Because he had the guys at the bottom of the lineup getting on every single day. And if you put Rhys Hoskins in that situation last year, I think he has damn near close to 100 RBIs and probably 30 home runs too. And he probably hits 240, 250, which is better than Schwarber.
I'm still saying I think we could have still had him and Schwarber on this team. But you guys don't know how.
What's the question? Can I ask a question?
Why can't
What is the
Harper go back in
fascination?
the outfield?
What's
Why
the
can't Harper
fascination
go back-
about Schwarber? He's not playing first. It's Harper. So we have to compare Hoskins to Harper. And Hoskins isn't half the play Harper is.
Well,
I don't want Schwarber at DH.
Harper
I'm
play the
fine.
outfield?
No, he
Harper
can't.
play the outfield? Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
He's my first
he can.
baseman. He's the number 2
He
ranked
can play
first
outfield.
baseman. This
And
whole
he wants to play
GD
and he wants
City
to play.
hated Hoskins and talked about how bad his defense was for years. And they were fine with getting rid of Hoskins off of first and moving Bohm over. That was the talk. The only reason this is what the city does, they hate a player for 6 years.
That was the talk.
Once he leaves, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, but
the talk
John,
was that's DH, not first base.
But John, the problem is that you're not understanding. Maybe you're just overlooking it. They wanted to move Alec Bohm to replace Hoskins because Hoskins was so bad. That's the problem. And then you talk about, let's talk about the postseason. Sure, let's all love the big cool bat spike, and he threw his hands up in the air like, "Yay, I'm in Toronto! Yay!" That was a Rock reference, everybody. But he went 11 for 75 in the postseason and hit like 180 in 2022. So I don't understand where the love for this guy comes from. Again, I have to separate how great he was as a leader, as a teammate. I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's important. That's why that's why the locker room loves Schwarber so much. He's a big locker room guy. But there was and again, I think that not bringing back Hoskins was strictly a business move because there is nowhere to put him. Bryce Harper, we haven't seen a full season of him, but we've seen like 50 games at first base, and he's already double the athlete at first base than Hoskins ever was. I don't know.
I'm not going to knock on that, but like you're saying, there's a spot for him on the team because
where
Harper doesn't play first base, he goes back to the outfield, which Harper wants to play the outfield. You can even say he even said, "I would love to be back in the outfield, but this is where the team wants me." So he wants to be there. Like it's not like he doesn't want to be in the outfield. Like he wants to be in the outfield.
I understand.
Do you want a guy that's signed to 45 running into walls every day?
He's not going to get that contract.
But do you want a guy that right now is signed
38.
through 38 to run into walls every day and miss most of the season, or put him
Not
at
really.
first base where
But the
he's
problem
less of a?
It would be 2 years. It'd be this year, next year, where he plays the outfield.
I don't think Hoskins not a difference maker.
He's not.
He's not a guy that's that to me. He's not.
Do you think they win the World Series last year with him?
No, I don't. I think this team was better suited.
What did he do in 2022?
Then
he did have 3 hits like Rojas. He had a few home runs.
But Rojas
playing center field. Go ahead, put Hoskins in center field.
Yeah, put Hoskins in center.
Let's get Rojas out of there. Put Hoskins there. We're good. We got it. Dude can't field it first. Let's put him. Yeah.
Like the thing is, we bring up would they have won the World Series? He went like 1 for 25 at the end of the NLCS all the way through the World Series. He lost them a game in the World Series.
A lot of people don't have great postseasons. That could have been just an anomaly. It's his first time ever being there in the postseason.
I'm not
Harper didn't have Harper was 3 for 23 in his first postseason. So
I understand.
And he's a great player.
Does he have nude pictures of your wife? Kind of like you say Schwarber has them of toppers.
He does.
That's why bats him. Is that why they're defending this guy so much?
My problem with Philly,
he's a big guy in the locker room.
He is. I agree with you.
He's a better baseball player than Rojas. He's a better baseball player than where Merrifield at this moment in time. I think
he's better than a 275 hitter who hits 30 doubles a year.
At this
moment,
who
has the second most hits
close to
in the
30
last
doubles
4 years.
Rhys gets close to 30 doubles a year.
Is Rhys Hoskins going to be a bench bat? Because that's what Witt's going to be, really, or play center field. So can Hoskins do either of those?
Would you have signed Rhys Hoskins to $18 million a year to sit there?
No. But I'm saying he could have played. You act like he could not have played on this team. Like there's not anywhere,
because I don't think there's a spot for him. Based on what they're telling you. No, yes, there's not because
they're saying what they're saying. You're right. There is. There's not. You're right. But they're saying there's not. But there is a spot for him on this team. Is what I'm trying to say. There is. Harper goes back to right field. Castellanos goes to left field. Schwarber's still your DH, and then you have Marsh in center field. There is a spot there, and that team is better than the team that is right now. And even Thompson said that team is a better team than
because Topper's going to go in front of the media and say, "Yeah, Rhys Hoskins sucks ass. I'm so happy."
Why would he say like this is what he said? I think this is a really good team here. I don't know if we would be better with Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins is a great player and he's a great player to this organization, but I don't know. But he said yes, we will. How does that say the message to Rojas and other people on the team that you don't have Rhys Hoskins?
Why would Rojas care about Rhys Hoskins, the first baseman?
Because that's where he wouldn't.
Rhys Hoskins isn't hitting ninth. He would have been a middle of the order player,
but
hitting
that's
235.
That's the spot he takes on the team.
So you want two guys in the top 5 hitting under 225, 230. Like that's where Hoskins was, but he wasn't hitting 45 and 110.
He almost did in 2018 though. Remember that
30 and 95, which
he
is
almost
not
did
49 and 100.
6 years ago.
6 years ago,
remember that.
When he had the opportunity, when he was batting forward, he had those opportunities, and when he was moved to 2, he did not have as many of those opportunities.
Again,
and the bottom
have
of the lineup
a problem with Rhys Hoskins. I have a problem when fans think that the team is worse now because there was no spot for a guy that he's not an MVP, he's not even an all-star. Like he's not even close to an all-star, and we're literally this fan base who gets obsessed with certain players.
It's 30. You're talking about 30 home runs and 70 RBIs. You're guaranteed getting out of him. You're probably getting 70 walks out of him, and probably 150, close to 150 hits. 140, 150 hits out of him. You're not. Are you going to get that from Rojas?
He has never hit 150 hits. He hit 145 one time.
I said 140 to 140, like 150 in that range.
Can we stop comparing him to players that aren't
walked 47 times?
Like say first,
but that's the position he would take. That's what he wouldn't play center field. He wouldn't play center field. Marsh would play center field. Harper would be in right field. That's what the spot he would take on the team would be. That
I disagree because you're worrying right now. People are so hot to trot on moving Harper off of first. Let's GD forget about Harper moving off of first and moving the lineup again.
And it would be for That's 2 seasons.
Happening.
It would be for 2
happening.
Seasons.
It's not happening. So
it's not like it would be forever.
This whole thing of who he's better, we need to do this, that. This isn't MLB The Show. Harper's a first baseman now. The team has told us that. So our mindset shouldn't be, well, let's do this. Let's move Schwarber to 4. Let's move Harper here. Let's bring in Mike Trout. Let's get in Julio Rodriguez. Let's bring in Mike Piazza. Shouldn't be that. Our guy at first base is Bryce Harper. Right now, to me, is Hoskins a better player than Bryce Harper, or do I want him starting over Kyle Schwarber? The answer to both of those questions is emphatically no.
And Jay hates Kyle Schwarber.
I hate Kyle, but I wouldn't put Hoskins over Schwarber. No, not in the.
I wouldn't disagree. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm just saying when you're saying there's no spot for him on this, you're going by off what the organization is saying. What I'm saying, there is a spot for him, but they don't. That's not what they want to do.
There's a spot for everyone,
but that's baseball.
They just don't do it.
That's all I'm saying, and you guys just won't let me. That's what I'm saying. There is a spot for him.
I know.
Your faulty logic, 100% correct. You're right.
But John,
if you think that's what the team was going to be last year, anyways.
I know, but shit. Unfortunately, things happen, and
it didn't happen.
I agree. My point to you is, I don't mind you wanting there to be a spot for him, and I agree with you. Of course, there can be a spot for anyone. My issue, I took issue when you said he is worth more to the team than Kyle Schwarber. You said that. And I think I think
he can be as productive. That I was also talking about too. If they get Bellinger, if you put him and Bellinger better than Rojas. And
yes.
Schwarber.
Okay, well, statistically, of course.
Which Bellinger are you getting is my question.
But when I was saying get rid of Schwarber and sign him, I was still talking about getting another player to put in this position to make the team better. Because you can't get Bellinger. You know why? Because
if you get Bellinger, though, where's Harper going to go?
Harper's still first base. Schwarber's gone. He's out of here. DH is Rhys, and center field is Bellinger.
And then we're paying money to Bellinger, who's going to bat 240 instead of the 300 they bat. He's going to hit 15 home runs and do nothing like he did for the 6 years before he got last season.
All right, coming from the guy who won at Bellinger.
I did last year. 100%.
You wanted him this year too.
I would be okay. I would have signed him for the contract he got.
Yeah, that would have been a good deal.
I'm not saying I don't want. To me, I think I honestly would take Schwarber and whoever else, because I know Schwarber more than likely is going to give me 55 or 45 to 50 home runs. I don't know if Hoskins.
I don't know if Schwarber's getting. I don't think you're not going to see what he did last year. He's not. I don't think he's repeating.
People said the same thing. And
was a 3-win team better? So your team, your thing is, are they better? They were a better team last year than they were in 2022.
Right. They were a better team without Hoskins.
But they got they lost Hoskins, who apparently is very important in your mind.
But what's his name made up for Hoskins? Because you're replacing Turner and Hoskins. He made up for what you were missing with Harper. Turner
didn't do shit
the whole
until
time
August.
He still had close to 30 home runs. He still had close to 80.
Yeah, but that took a historic August to even touch those numbers.
And Rhys has those Augusts and Junes where he's just the best hitter in baseball for a month.
I didn't realize Rhys was so good at baseball.
I don't know.
You know for a fact Rhys had those months where you're like, damn, this guy just hit 10 home runs and he batted 300 this month. Like he has those crazy months.
And then the other 6 months he batted 150 and hit 1 home run a month.
So let me just go back to 2022 because that was the last time he played baseball, right? March, April, he hit 197. May, 239. And then, of course, in Rhys Hoskins fashion, he has 1 month. In June, he hit 306. And then the final 3 months of the year, 250, 245, 220. So he got progressively worse after that one Rhys Hoskins month that he has every single season.
And that's what Turner had. Turner had that one. Turner
but month. I agree. But it took until August for Turner to turn it up. Like that wasn't.
June only took Hoskins in June, so he's got to be a better player.
Look, John,
he's understand. Not better
than Turner. Do you like the would you rather have a combination of Rojas and Merrifield over one Rhys Hoskins?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm getting more and more frustrated. So instead of just literally whipping this around in 17 different angles,
I love whipping it around at 17 different angles.
I was actually going to tell you to stop moving your head so much because I was getting worried. Like I'm just going to see you tip to the side and not come back in the camera. Like I was getting worried. But John, I'm going to give you the floor for a minute to give a Rhys Hoskins eulogy as he's no longer here. So please, I'll hand it over to you and say thank you to Rhys, which I do. I love the guy. I just understand that in a team that's going forward, unfortunately, he was an odd man out. And is there anything you would like to say to Rhys?
I love you. When you were here, before Turner got here, you were the best looking guy on the team.
Wow. JT's a really good looking dude, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have JT.
You have JT.
I don't
look at that. Look, he can't even be the best looking now. Now he couldn't produce, and he's not even the best looking, and John still wants to keep him.
Let's see. I'm gonna miss his enthusiasm when big things happen. Even if it wasn't him, when you see see Harper hit those big home runs, you see him you see that guy just pop out of the dugout and go absolutely insane. All those things. All that stuff. What he brought to the team in the locker room was what was great. It was irreplaceable. It's going to be irreplaceable until they get another guy like that. I'm going to miss his home runs, his salute to the bullpen. That's something he started. One moment I really will remember is when they got Bryce Harper and they decided to intentionally walk him, and I believe he hit a grand slam. The first couple games or whatever. So I thought a guy was going to be here for a very long time. I know he's not an all-star, but I thought he was a good player. He produced good numbers. He wasn't the superstar where he's going to get all the Gold Gloves, the All-Star recognition, the MVP votes, the Silver Stars. But he was a good baseball player, and he will be missed.
Look, if they didn't have that, Nick, I was just going to say, if they did what many thought they were possibly going to do last season or even the offseason, if they did get rid of Nick Castellanos, which I bet they did try, I was told that they definitely tried multiple times.
I'm sure they try to get rid of. I'm sure they consider trading a lot of players.
I think they wanted to try to move Cassie to keep Hoskins. It didn't work, and it just unfortunately it just didn't pan out.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to rule out the possibility of him coming back one day. I really am not. I think there's a possibility. When his contract in 2 years, he could. Schwarber's contract's up. There's a possibility they could re-sign him and he'll be back on the team. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, you never know. And Jim Thome came back at one point too. So I mean, a lot of guys come back.
Lifelong Phils. Yeah.
But look, Jason, thank you for hopping on. Johnny Mac, appreciate it, man. This was a lot of fun. Jason, I'm not sure your schedule. I mean, I'm sure that's a day-to-day thing. But look, episodes 99 and 100 are coming at you, and we're super excited for that. And of course, mid-March, we're going to do our 2024 preview and prediction show, which is my favorite show to do. That's when Jason is automatically set up for a NOLA Cy Young. I already have that written down next to his name.
He got pooped on, so it's.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to go against that because I have somebody else down as the Cy Young winner.
Nice.
Rhys Hoskins. That makes sense.
Taywan Walker.
Taywan. But yeah, we're super excited for that show. Again, head over to SeatGeek.com. Use a code on the bump for $20 off your very first ticket purchase. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Feel better, Jay, John. Thank you guys so much.
One more thing before we go.
Fire.
Wheeler won't get the extension by our next show.
You don't think he will or does?
He doesn't.
I don't even think he gets extended before the playoffs.
I don't.
Before season starts.
I don't.
Really? Oh man,
but I think they sign him. I don't
think he's leaving Philly. I do not think. But it's not.
No. He's not going anywhere. They're going to
He's not.
They're going to overpay to keep him. They don't want him leaving.
I agree with all those points.
I think you're right. They overpay. They're going to pay him. They might pay him like 40 plus on a short year.
I can see. I think we talked about it. I can see a 3-year deal worth $120 million.
Yes, he's going to get a long deal, and it might be bigger than Verlander's. It might be bigger.
He's not that much.
He's not, but I think they're going to overpay him. I mean, they overpaid him, but they overpaid him to be here, to get him here.
Yeah, he definitely outperformed.
Which I was like,
that deal.
Why the hell are they signing this guy? This guy never pitches. He's an all right pitcher. Why are they giving him this money?
He's done pretty decently since he's been here.
It's a great
You're saying the franchise makes moves that you don't agree with that are actually smart, is what you're saying. So in turn, we can trust that they believe Hoskins can trash, and that's why he's gone.
That's if Rojas sucks. I'm going to be on you guys.
How did you? Oh my God. Says the guy who's been on the Rojas train since last year.
I'm just saying. Oh, I was until the playoffs started. Now I'm questioning.
He was put in a really difficult position. That was tough.
He was young, young guy.
That's
barely played. Barely played.
John right now is hating the fact that Jason just popped on at the last second. But
I knew this was gonna happen. I said it. I fucking said it.
By God, I had it in my back pocket the whole time. I'm gonna break them in half. All right, so thank you guys very much. Again, at Ring the Bell 856 for all the socials. If you're watching on YouTube, again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for the notifications. We'll catch you guys probably sometime next week. Like I said, JT and Harper are going to make their spring debuts on Wednesday. So we might stream Wednesday or Thursday. And then the following week, episode 100. And we'll send out information on that. Cannot believe we're already at 100.
Jason will be naked.
He might.
No brainer.
So thank you guys very much. I'm Chrissy Francesco. That's Jason Kent and Johnny Mac, and we'll catch you guys down the road. And it feels good to say this with games being played. Go Phils.